Hi, first grade. Today we're going to be reading Farfallina and Marcel. So before we start reading, I'm going to show you the cover of the book. Sorry, this is going to take some getting used to, but I want you to look at that cover. And like we usually do, I want you to predict what you think that story is about. The title of our story is Farfallina and Marcel, and the author is Holly Keller. What do you think that story might be about? Talk to someone at home and make your predictions. And remember, your predictions don't have to be perfect. Okay, I'm going to flip the book over now, and we're going to look at a quote on the back. So the quote on the back says, "Can best friends stay best friends no matter what?" So we see a butterfly and a goose back there. Now, do you think that best friends can stay best friends no matter what? I want you again to turn and talk to someone at home and talk about whether you think that's true or not. Okay, now we're going to start reading the story, and sometimes I'm going to have you stop and turn and talk again. So when you're turning and talking, you can always pause the video. Farfallina and Marcel. And it says, for John and Josie. The rain fell at morning. The rain fell all morning. It spattered on the pond and splashed on Farfallina's leaf. She found a dry spot and ate it. So now we met one character. There's Farfallina. Notice that Farfallina is a caterpillar. "Hey," said a little voice, "you're eating my umbrella." Farfallina peered over the edge. A small gray bird was huddled underneath. Who do you predict that bird might be? If you predicted Marcel, that's a good prediction. Farfallina liked his soft feathers and his gentle eyes. "I'm Farfallina," she said, and she slid down to the ground. "My name is Marcel," said the bird. He liked Farfallina's smile and her pretty colors. Sorry, friends, trying to get it right. The rain turned into drizzle, and Farfallina wanted to play. "I'll hide and you find me," she said. Marcel agreed. Farfallina hid under a fern close to the ground because she knew that Marcel couldn't climb. "Now I'll hide," said Marcel when he found her. And he hid right behind the tree because he knew that Farfallina moved slowly. So we see these friends and they're playing hide and seek. And I want you to think about what kind of friends they are. Think about how they hid in places that were easier for their friend to find them. How would you describe them? So turn and talk. How would you describe someone that does that? "I can take you for a ride on the pond," said Marcel. Farfallina inched her way up to Marcel's back. "You tickle," said Marcel, and he slipped into the water. Farfallina giggled. "There's so much to see," she said. Farfallina and Marcel played together every day. They liked the same games and they liked each other. But one day, Farfallina was not herself. "I'm not sick," she told Marcel. "I'm just uncomfortable. I need to climb up onto a branch and rest for a while." "I'll wait for you," Marcel called as Farfallina made her way up the tree. Marcel watched until Farfallina was completely out of sight, and then he settled himself into the grass and waited. Why do you think Farfallina had to climb up the tree? Why do you think she was tired? I want you to predict what you think might be happening. Night came and then morning, but Farfallina didn't come down. Marcel called to her, but she didn't answer. He was very worried and terribly lonely. Weeks went by. The afternoons grew longer and warmer, and Marcel went to the pond. He was growing, and when he looked at his reflection in the water, he hardly recognized himself. What happened to Marcel? Why didn't he recognize himself? I want you to think about Marcel as a friend. He waited for his friend Farfallina for weeks. What kind of a friend would do that? How would you describe them? He went back to the tree every day to look for Farfallina, but she was never there. And after a while, he gave up. At the top of the tree, Farfallina was snuggled in a blanket of glossy silk. She was growing too. The sky was blue and clear the morning she was ready to come out and open her beautiful new wings. She had no idea how long she had been up in the tree, and she floated down to find Marcel. "I'll just wait," said Farfallina when she didn't see him, and she sat on a flower. What do you notice is different about Farfallina? If you predicted earlier that Farfallina went up the tree to become a butterfly, that was a pretty great prediction. Night came and then morning, but Marcel wasn't there. Farfallina was tired and confused. She fluttered around a bit and went back to the pond. The pond was glassy smooth, except for the ripples made by a large, handsome goose who was swimming in solitary circles. Farfallina shivered with disappointment. Why do you think Farfallina was disappointed when she saw the goose? She went to the pond every day to look for the small gray bird named Marcel, but he never came. One morning, the goose stopped his silent rounds and spoke to her. "You must like it here," he said. Farfallina fluttered a bit. "I've been waiting for a friend," she said sadly, "but I don't think he'll come." Marcel liked her smile and her brilliant colors. "I know how you feel," he said. "I lost a friend too. She just vanished into thin air." Farfallina liked his sleek feathers and his gentle eyes. I want you to think back to the beginning of the book. What did Farfallina like about Marcel before? "A ride around the pond might cheer you up," Marcel said. Farfallina thought it would, and she settled herself on Marcel's back. "It's funny," Marcel said, "but I feel as though I've known you a long time." "I was thinking the same thing," said Farfallina. "My name is Farfallina. What's yours?" Marcel stopped suddenly. He beat the water with his strong wings, and then he swam around and around and around. "It's me, Farfallina," he shouted. "It's me, Marcel." "Is that really you?" "It is," Farfallina shouted back, and they looked at each other and laughed. How do you think the friends feel right now? Look at those pictures. How does the illustrator help you to decide how they're feeling? I want you to turn and talk about their feelings and how the illustrations help you. By evening, they had explained everything, and they fell asleep smiling at the stars. Farfallina and Marcel spent the rest of the summer playing just like they had before. Marcel was careful not to fly too fast because he knew that Farfallina couldn't keep up. And Farfallina didn't hide in the flowers because she knew Farfallina would never find her. She knew Marcel would never find her. Sorry, friends. And when the leaves on the trees around the pond turned red and gold, they decided to go south. What do you think it means when the trees are changing colors? What time of year is that, first grade? What's happening? And why do you think they're going to fly somewhere? What do birds do when the weather changes? Turn and talk. Tell someone at home, what do you think is happening? Together. Okay, first grade. We're going to do our next activity and we'll have that posted below. But I hope you liked the read aloud. I miss you and keep working super hard.